What's up, third and 13 listeners? We are back once again. It's Mark and George here. What's going on, everybody? Really appreciate everything that you all have done when it comes to sharing, supporting, liking, taking the time to listen, even some of the comments on some of the posts, different things like that, man. Really appreciate it. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. We got a few things to talk about that we kind of want to get into. It's about to be a really big football weekend. But before we get into the weekend, let's talk about a couple of things that have happened in the NFL world. G, how you living out here first before we talk?
Man, we living good out here, man. We living good out here. It is championship weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
It's an exciting time over here in the D. That's all I'm saying. Exciting time over here in the D.
Yes, sir. I can't wait until tomorrow's game. So I want to go ahead and bring up some news that we found out recently. Actually, directly affects us as fans. Michigan no longer has Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. He has decided to move on to the LA Chargers, which is going to be an interesting thing. Um, he decided to take that. I know he was doing interviews with them. He did interviews with Atlanta. He was even still in negotiations with Michigan as well, and decided to go back to the NFL. We kind of knew it was going to happen eventually. We knew he was going to stay at Michigan forever.
Right.
He's always kind of been like an NFL coach to me, so I kind of expected it. I'm really interested to see what happens with that. How you feel about it, G?
I mean, from the Michigan side, as a Michigan fan, I think we are very I think we're grateful for his time there.
For sure.
He did what he set out to do. He brought us back to prominence. He gave us,
The mountaintop.
the mountaintop. I mean, he left on top. So I mean,
Yeah.
we can't really be too mad about that.
Right.
So I think we all expected this at some point. We've been doing this back and forth thing for
For the last like 3 years.
yeah. I mean, so I think we are happy about the time, but we're also happy to see him go all at the same time. I think we are tired of this off season mess. So I think we are well. What's the best word? I don't sound disrespectful. I think we are happy just to have a college coach, just a college
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have one of the best programs in the country. So we shouldn't be worried about our coach leaving every 3 years. So,
Absolutely. And it's
so
also been confirmed that uh, the new head coach is going to be the offensive coordinator. Sharon Moore is going to be the head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. Hopefully, he doesn't. Hopefully, he lets somebody else call the plays. I'll just say that. Uh, it's not that he's a bad play caller either. I don't want to make it like that. Sometimes it can be a little vanilla, a little predictable,
for
and
sure.
I want something different as a fan. But just also as a football fan, I would like to see something a little more creative. Some of the stuff that he did that was going on during the playoffs, I would love to see more of that throughout the season. I really liked, especially the game against Alabama. I really liked a lot of some of the play calling in that game. Really enjoyed it, and would love to see more of that throughout the year. If he's going to, I guess we'll find out if it was more Harbaugh or more him in
Right.
how that scheme went about and how they went about things. So we'll find that out because I'm pretty sure he's not going to just relinquish play calling as much as I would like to have something different. I
Nah,
doubt it.
I mean, and also at the same time, he was running Jim's system too. So,
He was. He was.
I
In
don't
all
know if
fairness,
I don't know if that's exactly what his system is. I mean, we gonna find out next year. I mean,
we sure are.
we gonna give him we'll give him a little trial run here. Um, because what I will say is, although I do like Sharon Moore, I do think with Michigan not even really doing a coaching search here, he's kind of
Yeah,
in this weird position.
yeah, yeah,
Um, if
yeah,
things don't work out, I don't think it's going to be a long rope he gonna have. So, for his
yeah.
sake, being the first black head coach in Michigan history. I really do hope that this does work out.
Yeah, so we shall see. And then we got some other news. Um, we have another hiring over in my goodness, I can't think of where he went. Was it Atlanta? Yes.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Raheem
yep.
Morris.
Raheem Morris is the new head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. That's going to be interesting. I think he's been poised to be a head coach once again. I think he had a stint at it before, and I don't think it was the right timing.
He was with the
I
Bucks, right?
think Yes, and I don't think it was the right timing. Then he seems like he's in a better spot. He's been a part of a culture, a Super Bowl culture, things of that nature. So I think it's going to be really good to see what he brings to that team, and everything that I've seen when it comes to like reports and things of that nature. It seems like the players have loved him. He's a real good like players coach and things of that nature. So I think that's going to be a big role. I think when it comes to head coaches, I'm big on it's not even about X's and O's for me. It's all about can you lead men? Can you put guys in the right position? Can you make the right hires? Those
Absolutely,
are more critical things than whether your X's or O's are great. Because if you get the right hires, then you can always work those things out. And if you are great at it, say a Sean McVay or things like that from where he just came from, um, that helps too. That if you're good with X's and O's as well, but the biggest thing is can you lead men? Can you do the things that are necessary and put your guys in certain positions to succeed, whether that be your coaching staff,
absolutely,
whether it's your players, things of that nature. How you feel
absolutely.
about that hire, G? Because I thought it was pretty interesting.
I think it was. I think it was interesting because they chose him over Bill Belichick. Um,
Ah,
that's an interesting dynamic
because I don't know where
change
he's
in
going now,
events.
if anywhere.
Yeah, that's a dynamic change in events. Oh, I'll get back to Bill because there's a
Uh,
rumor circulating. I'm not completely
ooh,
sure if it's.
okay.
I have to double check the source,
Okay.
but we will get back to Bill. But um, as far as the Falcons are concerned, it's interesting. I mean, I do like it for him, um,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but at the same time, he's gonna have to find himself an offensive coordinator, man. He's gonna have to
And
find himself a good
he
one.
needs a quarterback.
Yeah, and he needs a quarterback. So I'm not, um, I I hate for him to go in that kind of position. Those are the two jobs. This one and the Carolina job, the jobs I wasn't too sure about.
Ooh,
Now they do have a great running back they drafted, but
yeah, yeah.
no
They got good,
QB is
good some good
tough.
receivers.
They do got good
Um,
receivers,
Drake
but they don't have the
London. You got
ability to go get
Kyle
one.
Pitts. That's
They're
yeah.
not
They
picking
need
that high in
another
the
one.
draft. I mean,
Yeah.
they're up there, but they're not up there like Carolina is, like the
So do you make a
Commanders are.
trade?
You may
And
have to.
Carolina is not up there. They don't have a first round pick. Remember
Right,
they gave theirs to
they
the
traded
Bears.
it. They traded to the Bears. They're right. They're
Uh
right.
huh.
Carolina's just all around awful job. But anywho, it's just an awful job to have. But nah. So I think outside of that, he just needs a quarterback, and he needs to get himself a really solid offense coordinator.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
they can have some success there. Um, I mean, look at the Lions. I mean, use them as a model. I mean, when Dan Campbell got here, the star quarterback wanted to leave. I mean, you gotta make do what to do. And as you said, best getting the right staff. I think
Yeah.
if he can build a great staff, he will definitely succeed. So only time will tell. Only time will tell. But he has some skill players to work with. He just needs to get the leader quarterback.
Agreed. Agreed. Now go ahead. What you want to say about Bill? Go ahead. You might as well say it now. You
Okay.
brought it up.
All right. So I did see some circulating last night. I'm not sure if it's true yet. I do need to do some more research into it. I haven't got a chance to fact check it yet, but it is interesting. So there's been rumors going around that Andy Reid may retire after
What?
the season. Yeah, crazy. They said so. There's the rumors going around that the front office in Kansas City is on high alert that Andy Reid may retire after the season.
Mm.
Cool. crazy in itself, crazy news in itself.
Right.
But then I heard last night that Bill may be poised to take over in Kansas City if Andy Reid leaves. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
I don't.
I don't, and I'm not saying that's true. There's just some things that was floating around last night.
I don't even know if
Um,
that would like. I guess I'm not a. I don't know how that would work. I guess I don't know. I'm curious to know if that would.
I I don't think I would do that just for the simple fact. Um, and that's why I say I have to fact check it some more because my thing is you're getting so one old guy retires and you hire another one, so then
Yeah,
he'll be here for a couple of years and you go through this again. Um, that's always been my little issue with Bill getting another job as a coach.
yeah, and it doesn't
Like
even
the
feel
shelf
like
life
Bill
isn't that
really.
long.
It doesn't even feel like Bill really wants to do all the other intricate parts of being a head coach beyond the actual game day stuff. Like it doesn't feel
I
like
don't
it.
know.
it I don't get the sense, you know.
That's why he didn't get the job with Atlanta. Supposedly he asked for more power. He wanted the
Uh,
same power he had in New England.
well, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's what he
He's not
wanted
going to
in
get
that.
that anywhere.
Yeah. So that's apparently was the situation in Atlanta. He wanted the same power he had in New England, saying that he wants, essentially to run everything and answer just to the owner and work essentially side by side with the owner. I'm like,
Yeah, no,
Bill, buddy,
no.
it's you old man. Like it's not gonna
Especially not
happen.
after these last 3 years that you done had.
Nah,
No,
nah. I
you,
mean,
you,
your GM skills have been suspect at best
the
for
drafting
a
has been
while.
terrible for a
Drafting has
few
been terrible.
years.
No one else is giving you that kind of opportunity. And
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see. I've been hearing the Andy Reid thing for a few weeks now, though, so I think there's definitely smoke there
he's
about
been.
Andy
I
Reid.
mean, he's been coaching for a while. He's been winning for
It
a
would make
while.
sense. It would make sense.
It
When
wouldn't be
does he hang it
crazy.
up?
Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy.
No, it wouldn't be.
He's been coaching for a while. He's got a few Super Bowls now, or two Super Bowls now. So it's not like um, it's not crazy. It's
I
not
do have
crazy.
a name for you though. If
Go
that
go
job
go
opens up,
for it. Go for it, and we'll talk about it later. Go for
Ben
it.
Johnson. Ben Johnson going to the Chiefs would be interesting. Give him Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelsey.
That would be an interesting. I don't want to talk about that right.
Yeah,
No, but
bro.
no, it
Ben
actually is not a
Ben
bad.
Ben Ben is leaving us, bro. I mean,
I
he
mean,
is already a foregone conclusion.
both of our coordinators are gone. That's just.
No, no, Aaron Glenn's not gone.
I
That
think
has
so.
been stamped. Where's he? Where's he going? And all the jobs getting
Well,
taken up.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
The one job he had a connection to was Atlanta. They just hired Raheem Morris.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think he interviewed for Seattle.
And Lord knows nobody should go to Carolina.
Oh, Carolina already got a coach too.
Did they? Who they grab? I missed that.
Uh, Dave Canes or something.
Oh yes, you're right. You are correct.
Yeah,
You are correct. I
yeah,
forgot about that. Forgot
yeah.
about
So
that
the
hire
only two
because
jobs,
all the other hires that have been going on the lab this week, I didn't
yeah,
it
yeah. The
completely forgot about that.
only two is the Commanders and I believe the Seahawks at this point.
Commander. Actually, I could
Commanders.
see him going to.
Ben Johnson going to Commanders. That have
I could actually see. That's what I was going to say. But I could see AG going to Seattle. I genuinely could. I mean that.
I
Like
think
he could.
Vrabel going to Seattle, man.
It makes sense because Vrabel's already been established himself as a good head coach, and the players love him. It makes sense.
Actually, Dan Quinn
Um,
too. Dan Quinn is over there currently interviewing with Seattle. I can see Dan Quinn's a Seattle type of guy.
but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I know AG. They've had interest in him in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Teams have. So we'll see.
yeah,
I have no problem with him sticking around because I felt like he improved a little bit this year, based on the personnel. Still
for
need
sure,
personnel workout. So
for
I
sure.
think he
Well,
improved. So
I will let me throw this last nugget, and then unless I'll get into the games. We're not
yeah.
just losing Ben Johnson now. I don't know if you heard that rumor
We're gonna
about
lose
who
the
is.
assistant too. Yes, I heard the assistant's gonna be gone with him.
Well, no, the offensive line coach
Yes,
Hank
yes,
Fraley, who's been here
yes,
forever. Gave us the
Yeah.
best O line. Talking about he gonna be the OC. That's tough. That's almost tougher than Ben Johnson leaving. Honestly, bro.
But you know
Like,
what? But you know what though? The thing is one thing I will say. I think, and this is shown throughout this time. I think Dan Campbell is good at hiring coaches. So I think, and with the experience now of continuing to move on, even he has no problem if moving on from coaches, as we saw with Anthony Lynn, right, where that was a hire, and he was like, this ain't working, get out of here, so we can figure out what's the best thing. So I do think I have confidence. I'll just say this: I have confidence in Dan Campbell to find whoever needs to be replaced and where they need to be replaced.
for sure.
Now, that doesn't guarantee anything, so I'm not.
No.
But if you are going to be a good or great head coach, you're going to lose staff. Happens
Oh
all
yeah.
the time.
Every
So
couple years.
I'll take losing staff with a great head coach and great team
For sure.
over, you know.
Facts. Facts.
So we'll see
It
what
is what it
happens.
is.
Let's get into these games. So we got two games that should be really great coming up this week or coming up tomorrow. One being, as we all know, we all know what happens with some of the games last week. Obviously, the Ravens beat the Texans, which was a good first half, and then a second half where the Ravens just controlled everything. Then we had the Niners beat the overcame the Packers, even though the Niners showed some flaws there. It was a cold, rainy day. Jordan Love was great until he threw a terrible pass at
Until
the
he wasn't.
end. Until he wasn't. Doesn't negate a lot of the great he did, but he did great up until that. But that play was huge, and it gave them. It was just a poor play. It was first down. He didn't have to throw it, and they had a chance to win that game. Probably should have won that game. The Niners. One of the key things in that game too was I just want to point out before we move on to the other results, but um, Brock Purdy also threw some interceptions. They just weren't caught. Uh, Jordan Loves were caught. So that was the difference in the game.
Yep.
Um, and so there were some things that can be had there. Then also the following games were the Lions defeated the Buccaneers. That was a good game, pretty much the whole way through. The Lions, for the most part, had the lead and control most of the game. Different points there was a tie in the game a couple of times, but it was a good game.
It was.
Finished out on an interception at the end. A great play by Derek Barnes, who finally realized he had arms and he could use them, as opposed to a few
Crazy.
weeks ago against Dak
Dallas.
Prescott. He decided he didn't have any hands. It's okay. He made up for that. Made up for that play. I could care
It
less
did.
about that
It
play at this
did.
point
It
now.
did.
Like
We lost a playoff game. Hey,
Hey, look, it solidified and sealed it up for us, so
all
I could care
forgotten
less.
until
All
he does it
forgotten.
again.
But it was a great read, a great play. I was really impressed by that play by Derek Barnes because he's not known for his coverage. He's not known for that. He made a play. He read the play. He read Baker Mayfield, who was very good in that game for the most part, outside of a few moments, and he did a great job. Also, and then the last result we had. This one was a battle of Goliaths. Okay, some straight up gladiators. The two best quarterbacks, in Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, and the Chiefs once again defeated the Bills in the playoffs.
Lazarus, man. Lazarus right there in the Chiefs, bro. Man, you think they dead and just rise up.
If
Playoff
if
time.
if they
Crazy.
win, for them to keep winning in such a different manner than they have in the past, in these past few years, it's such an incredible thing. It's an
It
incredible
is.
testament to Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, who mentioned like they've just been making things happen, and especially these two playoff games, they've been great. Like they've been great. They really could have won that game by a couple of touchdowns had Nicole Hartman not decided he didn't want to hold the ball most of the game or anytime he touched it. So
Anytime.
literally. just about any type of touchdown. I think he had the ball 3 times and he fumbled twice. So that's exciting. And almost cost them the game. So that is crazy. That is crazy. Okay. So
Nasty work.
nasty work. Let's get
Nasty
into
work
these.
on the field, bro.
It really was. It really was. Let's get into these games this weekend. I'm coming up tomorrow. I keep saying this weekend, like it's not already the weekend. But tomorrow, so we have the first game tomorrow is going to be the Chiefs are going into Baltimore to play the Ravens. Going to be, I think, is going to be a great, great game.
Mm,
Very good defenses. No, two great defenses. One has been more of an all-time defense in the Ravens, and one has just been a top 6 or 7 defense in the league pretty much all year, which is the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo has had that defense on point all
right.
season, and really, which has been the thing that's kept them. It was what kept them afloat throughout the year. Between that and having Pat Mahomes, but that the defense has really been keeping them afloat. And then it's really showed up in these playoffs. These first 2 games, they've made plays. Obviously, last game playing Josh Allen, it was tougher, but they did what they had to do, and it was they made plays and made things happen. It's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs defense fares against the presumably the MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson,
It's gonna be
who
fun.
has had his best season this year, in my opinion. Who has even beyond his other MVP season, where he may have had better numbers per se. I feel like this year the eye test solidified that he has improved. He's better in the pocket. He's not scrambling as much. And when he does scramble, they're timely scrambles. So more of that, what you want to see, similar to like what Mahomes does, where the scrambles are more selective and when they happen. Lamar actually, I found this number recently. The great thing about Lamar Jackson this year is when they blitz, he actually scrambles less than he has in the past. I want to say it was about 21% of the time he would scramble at a blitz. This year it's all the way down to like 14%. He's like in the middle of the league, maybe 15th or something like that with quarterbacks scrambling, which is an interesting thing about him. He's learning to maneuver in the pocket differently, take his time, be patient, and find his receivers. And also, that receiver room has just gotten better, which we've mentioned in past episodes. The receivers room has gotten better. Odell, you have Zay Flowers, you have Bateman. Yes, yes, yes. I said Zay Flowers, everybody. You got Rashad Bateman. And somebody who stepped up when Mark Andrews went out is likely. He's been really good, a little bit more athletic than Andrews, so that's probably helped and done wonders for them. It's just been a really good thing. But the key to this Ravens team is Lamar Jackson, but also the defense is fantastic. Defense is fantastic, and I'm curious to see how these defenses play against these two great quarterbacks.
I'm very curious. And it's funny you bring up Mark Andrews. Of course, he's back or just in the nick of time for this
Of
game right
course,
here.
of course, of course.
And
He
they
wasn't
made
going to
sure he
miss
was
this.
healthy too. It ain't like he coming back hobbled. Like he got. Well, from what I'm hearing, he's been kind of healthy. They just wanted to make sure he was solid. So he
Yeah,
should be back 100% well rested for this one. So that should be interesting. I I wouldn't say the Chiefs defense is good. I feel like you giving them a little more credit than what they. I mean, they are right now. They have a great
statistically,
scoring. No, they have a great scoring
statistically,
defense. Scoring defense.
no, no,
They
no. In other statistics, they're in the top 10. They're in the top 10. I mean, we can.
okay, but they're now nowhere in the class of Baltimore. These are
No, I agree with that
two different defenses.
for sure,
One's more of
for sure,
opportunistic defense. One is just all time lock you down type defense.
for sure.
Um, but at the same time, if we got to go, uh, Baltimore's a better team. Let's just call it what it is. Baltimore's a better team. They are they're at home. They should win this game. I think what Baltimore has to figure out is kind of what the 49ers have to go through is that they're all the pressure's on them in this game.
Mm.
And that's tough when Pat Mahomes is on the other sideline though. You guys have you guys you got Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelsey playing with
Yeah,
house money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Which is
different.
which is something they've never done.
They've always been the one with the pressure. They can go in this boy loose. They're expected to lose this game. They're supposed to lose.
Which is crazy. You never hear that about this team.
So they're going in just I'm about to start willing and dealing out here.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
supposed to lose. We the Chiefs,
yeah.
but we supposed to lose. That's
The last
crazy.
5 years, you would have never heard that.
That's
Like,
crazy. So I'm, that's gonna be such a dog of a game, man. And that I don't think that like there's some people saying the Ravens gonna win easily.
mm.
That I've heard they should, but it's the playoffs.
Easily, I don't think they
It's the
should easily at
playoffs.
all. I'll just say that. I don't think easily is
I
even a
mean,
question.
with the way the Chiefs been playing this season, they should
What have you done
they
for me
should win.
lately? I don't care what they've been doing during the season. What have, the last these playoff games? They've been playing some great football. You
They
like?
have been. They have been, but let's call a spade a spade. They should have lost to Buffalo. They had some
Uh,
lucky, they had some lucky bounces go their way,
I can't. I
and
can't say
a
that.
nice kick that sailed
I,
off to the right. I
I
mean,
can't say that
is
because you can't make it seem like the on the other end there weren't things that bounced the
for sure,
Buffalo's way as well.
for
So
sure,
I think
for sure,
I think it balanced out well.
for sure. But and then we're talking about the ice bowl and the wild card game. I mean these aren't. I don't feel like those were true tests of which team was better. Like they caught them at some good times. I mean, now the Buffalo game, hey, they beat they just have Buffalo's number. It just ain't meant for Buffalo to beat Kansas City. I don't know what that is. Miami, I did pick Miami to win that game, and I think on a neutral field or on a sunny day, I feel like that game could have been very interesting. If that game was in Miami, Miami should have. Hey, that's Miami's fault.
That's
Miami's
another
fault.
thing. If it's
That's
in
Miami's
Miami,
fault.
then maybe it's a different thing.
Yeah. Now that is Miami's fault.
Yeah,
Miami dropped the
yeah,
ball against
yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah.
That is their fault.
They
Hey,
absolutely wet
they
the
have
bed in that
they
last
have
game.
to they the reason they had to go play in negative whatever temperatures. But they didn't have a shot. As soon as the temperature came out, they just didn't have a shot. They didn't
Mm.
care. They weren't prepared. So all I'm saying is this is going to be a different kind of test for them. So I do think they should lose this game by a touchdown or more. But it's Pat Mahomes we talking about. It's Andy Reid we talking about. They gonna make this game interesting. Are we giving picks right now or what?
You go for it. I'm curious. First I want to know. Let's talk more about the matchup, though. I want to talk a little
Okay,
bit more
fair
about the
enough.
matchup.
Fair enough.
Um, how do you see Pat Mahomes handling? Because you brought it up, the Ravens defense has been historic this year.
For sure.
Something that they can do is everything, right? So, like they have good pass rush. They can rush with just four. They can bring five. They have uh, one of the best linebackers in the league in Roquan Smith.
Yep.
Okay, you also have another um, a good linebacker next to him who um, just re-signed with them last season. So you thought, hey, last season was a contract year. Maybe this year wouldn't be as good. Nope. Patrick Queen came out and he balled this year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like may even been better than last year, probably actually. Um, you got Humphreys back. Um, he's been playing well this year. Kyle Hamilton has been absolutely fantastic
Mm.
this season.
Yes.
Now they're about to go against who a lot of people believe, me firmly, that he is the best quarterback in this league, best quarterback in the last, I don't know, 15 years. Like, he's best quarterback of his generation, I'll say, of this moment. Like, Patrick Mahomes. How do you see that going? Because they do still have the Mahomes still lacks some of the receivers that you would hope to have. Now, granted, some of them have stepped up in the last couple of weeks, which is out of nowhere. Like they weren't good all season, and all of a sudden they've been making plays in these two games. How do you see that faring in this particular game? What do you expect to see?
I think Pat Mahomes gets busy tomorrow. I do. I think Pat Mahomes is due for one of them games. I feel like we've been talking a whole lot about that defense and not putting respect on who Pat Mahomes is. Pat Mahomes made a lot of defenses look silly, including the good ones. I do think he's going to get busy tomorrow. Not saying they're going to win, but I don't think it's going to be some Pat Mahomes about to get shut down by this Ravens defense. I don't think the Ravens defense is legendary. I think
Mm,
they are good though. They're definitely a good defense. I don't think they were the best defense in the NFL
mm,
this year.
what?
I don't personally.
Who do you think is better?
I think I almost want, give me Cleveland. Give me Cleveland's
So
defense.
so here's my issue with Cleveland. They can
I
only
feel like
play defense. They can only
but
play
they were more
defense one
consistent.
way. They can only play defense one way, right?
I get it
And in some of the games that they lost, they weren't good, like defensively,
for
which
sure.
is why they lost. I mean, not why they lost because their offense struggled at times too. But
Offense has been bad.
yeah, but the thing about the Ravens defense for me is they've been able to play anybody. Like they can play any style, and I think that's a really key. It's interesting. I mean, you can argue either way. That's fine.
I feel like when you have that kind of offense, it's easier to play defense. You're talking about a Cleveland team who's playing defense with a bad offense. So we're talking about an offense that's going three and out or doing turnovers, and they still have the numbers that they have week in and week out. Now you got a Baltimore team whose offense is potent. I mean,
That
they're playing
they're
for
the
they're
same offense that struggled at different point at different strongly a good amount of games throughout the season that struggled to score in the red zone. The first half of the season, they couldn't score in the red zone to save
I
lives.
get it.
They couldn't. They were struggling to get touchdowns. This is why
How many
um,
points per game were
they,
they giving up though? See now I ain't gonna you'll make look that up. How many points per game? I mean, how many points per game were they scoring though? Because at the end of the day, we know. Oh, come on, man. These dudes average 28.4 points a game, bro. These guys putting up numbers, and I'm sure the Browns is probably under 20. Like, and them dudes, and that defense is literally the reason they have about 20 about 23. So they're about middle of the pack. Ravens at the top of the league.
sure.
So the defense had to make sure they couldn't have a bad game or they lost. There was no such thing as the offense outscoring the other team. That didn't
That
happen
doesn't
much.
make you a better defense to me though, just because your offense isn't good. That doesn't make it better for you. Like you still got to make the plays on defense. You still have to do
I
what you
agree.
have to do.
I
There's
agree. I just feel like they were playing from in front a lot, which made it a little easier for them. That's all.
okay. I respect that. That's fine.
Teams were playing from behind a lot, playing against the Ravens because of the way that offense was. I mean, that's just how that was. And their defense, when you know what a team is going to do, it makes it a little easier to play defense. I'm not saying they're a bad defense; they're a great defense. They're
Yeah,
great, but
yeah,
I feel like if Pat Mahomes can score some points early in that game, it's going to be interesting on how that defense responds. That's all.
sure, sure. If and I definitely understand that. And if he gets off to a good hot start early, that's going to that will dictate a lot of things that of how the game kind of progresses.
For sure.
Um, and I actually think that's I have a similar thought about both games when it comes to like depending on how the start goes, how things can kind of go. But yeah,
Absolutely. 'Cause I don't
when
think
you
they
let
making no comeback. They ain't making no comeback on the Ravens defense. Now they get down some points. I think it's gonna be a wrap. But
mm,
you ain't about to keep throwing the ball 40 times thinking you about to no. If they can dictate that offense, dictate the pace of the flow, and I mean
hmm
there's a recipe for how Pat Mahomes can kind of chop them up a little bit, and I think and I do think he's going to have a pretty good day tomorrow.
I think for me it depends on because, like I said, the Ravens they change up whether they go with four for pressure, bring
For sure.
five, sometimes six.
Yeah.
Um, will they get pressure? If they get pressure, now here's the thing though. Even with pressure, Pat Mahomes is still great. He's one of the best um,
Absolutely.
when it comes to scrambling and making play, making getting passing yards out of scrambles. Right. I want to say he's top five when it comes to getting out and scrambling and still making good,
Yeah.
getting good passing yards and yardage out of it. Um, and he also Pat Mahomes is great at making, like I mentioned earlier, very timely with his scrambles. He knows when to scramble, knows when it's a good time to go past the line and get a first down. Um, Most of the time, if he scrambles to he's getting a first down.
Yeah.
That's an actual statistical fact that when he runs past the line and he decides that he's going to tuck it and run, he typically gets a first down.
Yep.
That's because he picks and chooses those times to run out. He's not just out there running, chicken with his head cut off. He knows when he picks his times. He thinks the game so well. Um, so I think he's going to have a good game as well. I'm curious to know though whether he will I don't know if he'll rip them apart though. I think it'll be a good chess match, which is what I expect personally. Now, it can go a different way because, like we said, he's the best. He's the best. I mean, so it's like if if he has that kind of
I
game
get
that
it.
he can, it's
I,
will the receivers catch the passes? Yes.
and when I say rip them apart, I don't think he about to throw for 450. I don't think he about to go out there and it's about to be some wild game. Because if he does that, then they're blowing them boys out the water. So,
Well, yeah, for
because
sure.
if he has one of them type of games, no, I just think he's not about to struggle. Like I feel like people think it's about to be some. He about to come out there and he about to turn into Joe Flacco or something. I mean, and that's just not about to happen this weekend. I mean, I understand Ravens fans are very confident that they about to come out of here with a double digit win, but this
You
isn't
and
about to
your
be what they think.
you and your Joe Flacco shade
Hey,
catching
bro, I'm
strays,
just saying.
man.
I'm
Just
just
catching
saying.
strays.
Just go back to the retirement home, brother. Go back to the retirement home. But it was fun while it lasted. But all I'm saying is put some respect on Pat Mahomes. That's all I'm gonna say. Just know they're the ones playing with no pressure. Lamar Jackson struggles in this position. So let's see what he can do.
He
He's
has
the
in the
wild card
past. I'll
here.
say that he has in
For
the
sure.
past. This
That's what I'm
season has
saying.
been different, but yes, in the past it's different. But
But
this is
they've only played
playoffs,
one game.
so yeah,
So
we'll see what happens.
they've played one game against a rookie quarterback. This is Pat Mahomes. It's different.
I I do think.
And they struggled in the first half of that game.
I also think Lamar Jackson has a good game too. By the way, I'll just throw it out there. I I think they're going to bring. I think um, the Chiefs are gonna try to bring some pressure, bring some extra pressure, some blitzing, because they he liked to blitz. I think it's going to, and the thing is too, it's really about whether Jones is. Oh, is Chris Jones going to be? Is he going to do anything in the first three quarters? He doesn't do
Mm,
too much. He doesn't do too much. He haven't this season. This season, he hasn't done too much in the first three quarters. He likes to wait until the fourth quarter to get his stuff.
yep.
His tackles are way down this year. He did get his sacks, but I think that a lot of that was incentive. It was about contract stuff. He was
Yeah.
just trying to get his extra money. So I'm curious to know whether if he doesn't show up in the first three quarters, I don't think they have a chance to pressure Lamar. They don't, and if they can't pressure him, if he's able to sit back there and pick and choose when he wants to do stuff, when he wants to run, when he wants to throw it, like it's gonna be tough sledding. So, what's your prediction? What do you got for me? Who's gonna win this game, G?
Um, this one is tough. This game, this I've been going back and forth in this game. I made one prediction. I've made
Picking
another.
against the Chiefs all playoff.
I've been picking against the Chiefs the entire playoffs. I mean the whole playoffs, even and shoot half of the regular season. And you don't bet against the king. You don't bet against Pat Mahomey.
That's what I've been telling you.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's how I think this is going to go down. I think Pat Mahomes is going to have one of them games. I do not think Lamar Jackson's having a great game. I do not.
Mm,
I and I hate to say it because I really do want. I hope I'm wrong. I'll say that. I I don't want that stigma on him, but I do think he's going to not have a great game on Sunday.
mm.
I do think the game is still, even with that being said, I do think it's going to be fairly close. But I do have Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelsey going back to the Super Bowl again, annoyingly. Um, and I think they win this game 31. Ooh, actually, no, let me take that back. Let me hold on. Not 31. 24 to 20. 24-20. Pat
Mm.
Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Andy Reid, back to the Super Bowl.
I almost have an exact same score. I was thinking 24-21, except
Flip the other way.
I
I know,
I have it going the other way.
for sure.
I believe that this is the year that Lamar Jackson continues pulling out his receipts. I think this is the year he uh, continues to show up and be great. I
I
really
hope so.
believe that. I really believe this is his moment and his time to get to the glorious stage. So I'm expecting the Ravens to win 24-21 tomorrow. Um, all right, so let's talk about the second game. Um, Man, this game is filled with tons of bias, tons of fun, but I'm going to keep the conversation unbiased as best as possible.
For
The
sure.
Lions are in the NFC Championship. I got to throw that out there first. This game, the Lions will be going to see the. They're going to San Francisco to see the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes, we are.
Um, it's going to be 60 degrees, and it's going to be a nice day.
I'm hearing 74 now.
74's went up. Oh man,
Ridiculous.
74. So this is um prime San
California weather.
Francisco weather. It
Yes,
is.
sir.
One thing the Lions do have is a quarterback who's from California, a quarterback who
Yeah,
played in California, a quarterback who is a loves playing in the warm weather. Okay, people always question him in the cold weather, and we've seen him play well in the cold weather the last 2 years. He's had a couple of games where he's played well, especially speaking on. We even bring up that Green Bay game last year, which was a critical game. He was great. Um, but this week he ain't got to worry about that. He ain't got to worry about that. He ain't got to have the gloves on. He ain't got to do none of that. Like, it's gonna be nice and warm weather. There is no excuses for either team in this game. There's when it comes to like weather or anything like that. It's gonna be a clean game when it comes to the weather. San Francisco doesn't have to worry about the rain like they did last week against the Packers. I don't want to hear anything about Brock Purdy and he can't throw in the rain. Um, I'm curious to see how this goes. So, my thoughts on this game, I'll start us off. I think this game is going to be very much, very much dependent on how it starts. Like, very much, I think heavily dependent on how the game starts. Um,
fair.
I don't think that I don't foresee there being any way that this becomes a blowout, and I'll say why. Um, on either side. But for one, I think that the 49ers are the better overall team. I think they just have a bit of, a little more. Um, their defense is just better for one. That's a big piece, as well as they have a great running back, great tight end. Um, they have a lot of good pieces. Now, the reason why I say it won't be a blowout is because um, the Lions have a lot of offensive firepower. A
They
lot of
do.
offense firepower. They're top five offense in the league all season, and that is not wavered. Maybe a couple of halves here and there, but for full games, not wavered all season. Um, outside of I don't know, outside of maybe one game, the Baltimore game, but um, they have they have a lot of firepower that is clicking on all cylinders these first two playoff games. I don't see where they won't be able to score at all or anything of that nature. As good as the Niners defense is, the Lions have some counters. Ben Johnson always has counters to the counters to the counters. Um, the weather's going to be good. Um, issue that the Lions will have is, as we've been saying week in and week out, their cornerback situation. Um, they've struggled in the secondary, specifically, like I said, the cornerbacks. We have a guy, our number one corner, who arguably isn't a number one corner, has been really struggling the last like 5 weeks, about 5 weeks or so, due to he had a toe injury. They say he's no longer on the injury list, but I'm sure he's been playing this entire time. I'm sure he's not 100% healthy because nobody's 100% healthy.
Right.
So the likelihood that the toe isn't still bothering him is pretty slim. But ever since then, he has been not good. He hasn't been good. And then they also have the other corner on the other side is a corner that wasn't playing all season until a few years ago. A few years ago, a few weeks ago.
I mean,
Literally wasn't playing
literally
at
not
all.
playing.
Yeah, until about the same time that Sutton got hurt. They've been playing about the same time. Because Jerry Jacobs was our second corner, who also is more of a depth guy. And so it's been
And
a
releasing
struggle
him
in
is
that
sounding
department. They
releasing
didn't
him is
release him.
feeling like, well, no, they put him on IR, but
IR.
they basically released him. This is it's feeling like more and more of a mistake. But anyhow, go ahead. Even though
I
I
don't.
was a fan of it, but now at the time, now it's like, man, we could definitely use Jerry Jacobs out there. But go ahead.
At the very least, he caught a few interceptions this year. Okay,
Agreed.
so I mean, if nothing else, he had what, like 3 picks this year. So hey, that would help. But the thing that has helped them even mask that at times has been throughout the season they've been great at defending the run. Right,
Yep.
top five defending the run. It's going to be. And they haven't been great at the last 2 weeks. The last week they struggled a little bit mildly against the Bucks. It was more of a in spot moments, but they're relatively have been good at all season. It's going to be interesting going against arguably the best running back in the league in CMC. Christian McCaffrey has been the best running back all season. It's going to be interesting to see what they do against that. If they can stop the run, if the Lions can stop or slow down their run, they have a chance at
Yep.
winning the game. I believe that they have a chance to be in the game the entire way, but the key is you have to slow down that run. That's where everything happens. But the key thing is too. I learned something too about the Lions. The Lions like to stay in base form on defense,
Yeah.
which they like to have
They
three
do.
linebackers. They like to have three linebackers out there. Brock Purdy's been great. Trot out three linebackers out there throughout the season. So they're gonna have to run some big nickel. They're gonna have some three safeties, maybe even four safety looks. Like it's gonna have to be. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that and how they try to maneuver that. This is the biggest game of the year. Throw everything out there. Figure it out.
Hmm. Just throw the whole kitchen sink at him, huh?
I can tell by your face you got some interesting thoughts on this though.
Yeah, because I'm listening to you, and it sounds
Mm-hmm.
like basically a guy who's saying that we don't have a snowball's chance. And my thing is,
Whoa,
it's
whoa, whoa,
like
whoa, 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 whoa! I
just
didn't
throw
say that.
everything at him. I feel like, look, this is how I feel. Yes, are they a better team? Yes, but I don't feel like we're that far behind. I feel like if we line up and play our game, we can beat the San Francisco 49ers. Um, their defense is how can best way I can put this, overrated.
Oh, 49ers.
49ers defense is overrated. Their pass rush,
Overrated.
yes,
Oh,
absolutely. They have great linebackers. Great
Fred Warner
linebackers.
specifically, and
And, and
Greenlaw,
Greenlaw, exactly.
Greenlaw's great
They
too.
have a
Yeah,
great pair of linebackers. Their corners, uh, not
they can
really.
be beat. They can be beat
They're not.
for sure.
They could 1000% be beat. Um, their edge rushers, Chase Young, not it. Nick
looking
Bosa,
looking more like that trade was they just
Nick
couldn't believe in him no more.
Nick Bosa. They couldn't even handle the receivers blocking down on them against Green Bay. What do you think is about to happen this week? See, these are things that people aren't understanding. I think they've been looking at stats, but they're not looking at matchups. The matchups,
Yeah, yeah,
the reason Green Bay did what they did against them was because the matchup was not great for the 49ers.
absolutely,
So take
absolutely.
what Green Bay does and times it by another two or three. Okay. The Lions are better doing what Green Bay did. The Lions run the ball better. They run those
Hmm.
outside runs better. They do these things better.
Hmm.
The outside run is something that the 49ers have had trouble stopping all year long.
Hmm.
The times that they've lost is because they've let teams run the ball on them.
Hmm.
They're Here's the problem: the Lions are the best in the league at it. And then you said if they stop the run, the Lions are number one at stopping the run. So if we want to talk about things, that the Lions are not good at, let's talk about something that they are very, very good at. Christian McCaffrey's not going off on Sunday. He's not. So will he get some yards because he's great? Of course. Is he about to run for 175 yards? He's not. He's not going to do that. So my thing is, if we stop the run, we can move the ball on offense. I have almost no problem thinking we can move because I don't think they're about to get pressured. Uh, I don't. We also have the best offensive line in the league. So these are issues that people aren't understanding. So we had the best offensive line in the league. They're not getting pressure. We're going to run the football. That's which is going to open the play action game against those iffy corners. Now we're talking back. Okay, so Lions offense is going to be straight. Now on the defensive side of the ball, here's the thing: we're going to be opportunistic. Um, Brock Purdy is not the greatest quarterback in the world. Is he good? Yes. Will he make plays? Yes. But guess where he makes the most of his plays? In between the hashes. So he's not a big outside the hash, throw it down the sideline type of guy. They're in between the
Where,
hashes type of guy.
where do the Lions struggle on defense the most? In between the hashes. But go
Absolutely
ahead.
not. Not the last 5 weeks. They've been struggling outside them hashes.
They
Um,
have been.
so we bring them in between the hashes, and we're talking about our, Anzalone. We're talking about Brian Branch. We're talking about Iffy. We're talking about Kirby. Now we're talking about CJGJ. So now we're talking about a different group of guys
Hmm.
in which I believe they can have some success. Now, they're still iffy back there, but they're a lot better there than they are on the outside currently,
A
as we
big
speak.
key, a big key is too is Aiden Hutchinson. If Aiden
Aiden,
Hutchinson,
exactly.
he's if he can go ahead and be dominant on that side,
See, that's
especially
another
on
thing.
that could be key. That could be
Have
key.
I'm don't hear too much talk about their offensive line. Their offensive line is not fantastic either. So
Yeah, we only hear about one offensive lineman, which is Trent Williams, and he's
exactly,
on the left. He's on the other side.
yeah.
So
So we just throw Aiden on this side, good to go. Don't ain't nobody coming from the other side anyway. So all I'm saying is we act as if the 40. I mean, all I've been seeing all week is the 49ers is just like, come on, like, are we serious? Like,
hmm.
stop it. Look at the matchups. The matchups
Hmm.
are a lot more close than what we think. This
Absolutely,
game is going to be good,
absolutely. I think the
and
Lions have
so
the better quarterback. I know
and Lions the 1000% have the better
a
quarterback.
lot of people had I've seen a lot of talking heads saying this. I saw I think NFL CBS I want to say that was who it was who on they did like a matchup thing
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter, and they literally had the Lions only winning Penei Sewell, I guess so O line. They said he was when it comes to like the better, him and I feel like that's it. And they told us we had the better kicker. They said we had the better kicker, and I was like, man, that seems. seems a bit far fetched. I feel like Jared Goff is better than, and I know like Purdy had a great statistical year, but I feel like Jared Goff is still a better quarterback. I don't. I mean, there are certain things that I can look at between the numbers and the eye test. Jared Goff is a better quarterback, but then also you're not going
He's
to tell
clearly a
me
better quarterback.
Brandon Ayuk has been very good this year.
He's not better than
Um,
St. Brown.
he's not better than St. Brown. It's not
That's
even.
not
It's not
even.
even.
That's not
It's
even.
not
That's
even
not.
close.
That's not even debatable. Yeah, it's not even debatable. And honestly,
And D
the
and let's talk about Devo because I think everybody's so
he
big
not
on
even.
Devo.
He
When it
not
comes to
even.
being a
I don't care.
receiver, he's not. He's not. We're talking about a 60 catch 800-yard receiver. Um, yes, he has 300
Dude,
yards rushing. He has like 12 touchdowns total. Great. But I think it's just because of scheme and they use him in certain ways.
yes,
But
absolutely.
him
Put him in
as a
another offense.
receiver, him as a receiver, he's not. No, no. Now Kittle, fantastic. I got
For
nothing.
sure, but
Kittle's
it ain't by
fantastic.
much. See, here's the thing: that's not by much. The
Mm-hmm.
people sleeping on the Lions rookies though. That's the thing. It's not by
Mm-hmm.
much. And then you want to take
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey. Okay, McCaffrey,
It's
but you
better. Yes.
cool. But you take McCaffrey versus you got to put both of the
You
Lions
got
running
two.
backs in
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
So that's a wash to me.
That balances out well. Yeah.
That's a
That
wash to me.
balances out. The tight end balances out the way Laporta has played this year. The only thing
Laporte can
Kittle
give you
is
the same numbers.
the only thing Kittle is beyond better at is blocking. He's a better blocker. I don't think
Eh,
it's not that's not even a question right now.
yeah, I mean,
It's not
it's
a
just
question.
you know he's been in the game. He's been in the league a little longer, but at the same time, we'll be
Laporta's
fine.
gonna make plays. Um,
Absolutely. And he will
that's
be
what
a great blocker because he is a willing blocker.
but these things are why I started off bringing up that I don't think the game will be a blowout in any facet. I do agree with you that I think it's closer than a lot of people are bringing up. I do think that though I think the 49ers are better just because of certain things,
They've been
I
doing it
think
longer.
overall, yes. And I just think they're, like I said, you said their defense is overrated. That's
I
fine. I
do.
still think
I
they're a good
1000%
defense.
believe that.
They're not a
They're a good
great defense.
defense,
They're a good defense.
but they have
Um,
holes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I'm the linebacker play is going to be really big for them, and it just depends on a lot of things. But I do think our offensive line can handle their pressure. If they
Absolutely.
try to give, or because Nick Bosa. Let's talk about this. We didn't bring this up. He's had a down year for Nick Bosa. If we're just being frank.
Yeah.
Um, so it's going to be. Um,
And he going
I'm
against who? Panay Sewell? Yeah.
who's been
It's
fantastic.
it's gonna be a down day too. So
Penei Sewell has been great against. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. Okay, it
that's what I'm
doesn't matter
saying.
who lines up against him. Michael Parsons, Aaron Donald. It doesn't matter who it is. He doesn't care. He went against the other Bosa earlier this year too. Didn't matter.
Shut him down.
Sewell has been great, so it's going to be interesting to see that matchup. I'm really looking forward to it actually. Um, the more and more we've talked about it, the more and more I'm like, oh, well, I thought they had a chance before already. Because again, I said the Lions' offense is top tier. So I'm that will always keep them in the mix, no matter what. A few things go right, the Lions can absolutely win this game, and we'll have an opportunity to win this game. Um, who's going to win the game, G? Because I feel like I already know your answer. So according to the way you talked about it.
Well, here's the thing. I just had to say that just to get it off my chest as far as how close this game is going to be. I don't. I hate the conversation of people acting as if this game 8.5 point favorites is crazy to me.
It's
But
crazy.
I mean, like they about to just get blown out. Skip Bayless and congratulations, Lions have won. Opportunity to go get blown out by San Francisco. Like all this talk,
Well,
it just
yeah.
shows that the people ain't really been watching this year. But anywho, you just get caught up in the whole.
Hmm.
It's San Francisco. It's Baltimore. It's whatever.
And
It's cool.
they should have lost to Green Bay last week.
Yeah,
So
right. And now we giving them excuses saying, "Oh, it was just their down game." No, it
it
was
was
a matchup
rainy.
game.
It was
It's fine.
wait. It was rainy for a team that is heavily dependent on being physical and running the ball.
Yep,
So who cares about the rain? What are we talking about?
exactly. And
Patrick Mahomes
honestly,
was slinging the ball, and it was negative 100 degrees. So I mean,
yep.
whatever.
If if you go if you go back and look at all of San Francisco losses and all of their close games in which they played poorly, there's one thing that's pretty much in common. They had a guy who ran the ball on them, and they could not stop it.
Mm-hmm.
They got playing against that type of physicality. I think they haven't played against a team like the Lions physically yet. They're not about to bully nobody. They're not bullying the Lions. That's
One
not
thing we
happening.
can guarantee: Dan Campbell will have those guys ready to play. Dan
Absolutely,
Campbell will have them. The
absolutely.
lights, the lights, the Lions will not lose because the lights are too bright. I can promise you
And
that.
and I'm gonna tell you this. You said there's no way a team gets blown out. I would tell you this is exactly how a team gets blown out. Just real quick. If they come out the way they did against Green Bay, if they come out like that, the Lions will be up 21-0 in that game very quickly.
Mm,
They can't they can't they cannot come out like that. The Lions gonna come out prepared. The Lions think
mm-hmm,
that team believes they can go to the Super Bowl. So if
mm-hmm.
you think you're gonna come out with a B game, C game, we'll beat them with it. That's not gonna happen. You better bring your A+ game if you plan on getting out of there with the W. So who do I think is gonna win this game? Obviously, I believe the Lions are gonna win this game. Here's the thing. I believe this game is very close, but then when you add in the perspective of grit, you add in the perspective of
All grit.
destiny. Yeah, add the perspective of destiny. How long it's been, that pushes over the
Mm.
top. I told you I believe in stories. Um, stories mean something in sports, and this one is just too good to pass up, man. I think I really think the Lions are gonna pull this one out. I think the defense is gonna make a couple plays, and I think they're going to force Brock Purdy into a couple turnovers, and I think we're going to get the job done. I think that our offense is just going to play lights out, like the hair on fire, and I think we're going. I think it's going to be one of them games. I have the Lions winning this game 31-24. Lions by 7.
Okay. I will say this: I do believe that the Lions need to score 30 points in order to win this game. Um,
Absolutely.
I, I as much as it pains me to say this, I believe that the 49ers are going to win the game. I think it's going to be close. I think it will be a 28-24 type of game. Um, I think the 49ers are going to win. And I'll say this: I will be happily wrong. Okay? I will enjoy being wrong if I am
You
wrong.
are.
I'm looking forward to it. I
You are
want to
wrong.
be wrong. I just have this feeling that I just had this feeling that the 49ers are going to win this game. I'm like I said, I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that it's different. I want your prediction to be right. I just can't see it at the moment. Um, so I'm looking forward to you texting
Okay.
me and saying I told you so. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey man, I'm trying to tell you now. Lions by 7. By 7. Whole touchdown. Whole touchdown.
Let's
Flip the script. Flip the script.
you have
Domination. Let's go.
Lions Chiefs Super Bowl. I have a Ravens 49ers Super
You have the basic
basic Super
basic
Bowl.
Super Bowl. You do.
Uh,
No
Actually, it is
surprises
a
in yours.
surprise. Me being the fan that I am. I'm doing my best not to let my heart says let's go Lions. We're gonna do it, and I'm with the story. My brain tells me otherwise, and so
I understand.
I'm gonna
I
rock with
understand.
that. Again, hoping to be wrong. So I will celebrate my wrongness. Okay.
Please
So
do.
we just got to finish off this episode with a thank you to all of you all who have been taking the time to listen and share and just again, we just appreciate it. We have a new Instagram page as I've been posting and sharing.
please check it out. 3rd and 13 pod. Like, check us out. We want to continue to build momentum so that more and more people get a chance to be a part of this new community that we're building when it comes to this sports thing and talking. And, we just appreciate anybody that's willing to listen and come on this journey with us to discuss sports. G, my guy, go Lions.
It's a business trip. 60 minutes from the
And I
Super
guess
Bowl.
that's how we're going to
Game
start
time.
it off. Hey, we'll see y'all later. 3rd and 13. Thank you.